everyone, thanks for tuning in to Life Coach Carmen channel. I am creating a two-part series about what is a life coach, what does a life coach do for you, and how do you go about finding the right life coach for you as well, and do you need one? So in this particular video, I'm going to talk about the 4 common misconceptions of the life coaching process. And the first one being that a lot of people think that life coaching is really for people who actually just has problems, or it's really for people who wants to unstuck themselves from something. Well, that is true. That is usually how people aggressively trying to find a life coach to help them out of a situation, or they run into a snag in life and there is to a point where they feel like they can't do it alone. And that is absolutely a valid reason why people look for a life coach. But I want to say that life coaching is for everyone at every point in their life. It's a process that will help you achieve your biggest potential. It's going to elevate you and maximize your gifts and blessings, and hopefully get you to be the best version of yourself. The truth is, a lot of us don't even know this. Like before I became a life coach, I had no idea that we all have a set of self-limiting beliefs in us. So it's almost like a little box that's boxing us in without us even knowing. And so a lot of us have the tendencies to, if we have a tendency to avoid something or not do something, or feel like we're not expressing ourselves in the truest way, in the most fulfilling way, and we don't know why. And that's usually because we have a set of self-limiting beliefs that's stopping us from living the best life that we have, and living the dreams of our lives and being the most fulfilled version of ourselves. And so life coaching will help stir up and loosen up some of those beliefs. And a trained life coach should be able to look for patterns and see if they can actually look into and explore and inspect into some of those patterns and help you loosen up those beliefs and hopefully revert, rewire, and pivot out of them, and form a new set of, or reframe the beliefs into something that's going to serve you and that's going to help you move forward and help you live your best life. And so while people with problems would look for a life coach, life coaching is not for people with just problems in front of them. And so I always say that in all aspects of our lives, whether it's our relationship with others, with our loved ones, with money, with health, and with your career, with your purpose in life, the number one thing that we start with addressing is really the relationship you have with yourself, because that forms the basis of the relationship with all these other things: the money, the love, the career, the relationship with others. So the most important asset you ever have is really that relationship you have with yourselves. And so if we don't go in and within ourselves to look for what is it that we want for ourselves and what is it that we can help ourselves move forward, we can't live out the best aspects of our lives in different areas. So I hope that addressed the first misconception. And so the second misconception people have is they would kind of lump life coaches into the therapist bucket, And so while both professionals would help you supporting your personal growth, therapy actually typically focuses more on healing and resolving past issues. Coaching is actually a little bit more future oriented, and it focuses on setting and achieving future steps, let's just say. So a well-trained life coach will actually look for recurring themes in your conversation or your answers to their questions. And a well-trained life coach would look for that about your past and look for patterns, and would explore these patterns with you to see if there's something that would limit you or sabotage your dreams and stop you from living your best life. And so they would be really good in actively listening and looking for these seeds or patterns that are recurring that may be holding you back or keeping you stuck. And so there will be some time and energy that they would spend with you to explore these patterns and help you get unstuck, and they would look for these tendencies and recurring themes. And typically it usually goes back to a little bit further, but they would actually walk you through a timeline to explore and see when they first occur or how these beliefs were formed, and they would actually help you unstuck or rewire. So that in itself is a very valuable experience. While not all life coaches know how to do this, a trained one would be able to. And so when I graduated from my life and health coaching certification program, I actually took one step further to get into this something called mastery transformational life coach thing. And I actually did that, and I learned how to do that. And so it's very ingrained in me that I would look for that. While not all life coaches do that, I think it's important that you get one that could help you with that. So the idea is really not to give your issues and concerns airtime indefinitely. Yes, there will be airtime for that, but the idea is that it shouldn't be indefinite. While it takes time to understand the root causes of where these are all are coming from, and understand the themes and the patterns that may be identified, reversing these behaviors and patterns that are recurring that keep you stuck, it's a big part of the work of what a trained seasoned life coach is going to help you with. So a really good life coach would be able to be a very good and active listener, to really have their ears perched up and being very attentive to the conversations that occur between the two, and that they would be, a good one would be able to quickly discover these patterns and work on loosening up these patterns so that they won't be a blockage to in your life, and just keep you from being the best version of yourself. And so I think that's one big difference between a life coach and therapy. The number 3 misconception of a life coach is that a life coach will tell you directly what to do. So while coaches may recommend and suggest informed solutions, a life coach would try to empower you based on what they understand about you, and ask the right set of questions to facilitate you to get to your truth. So I think a trained life coach would be very interested in asking the right set of questions, them being the facilitator and you being the bearer of your truth. The point is not telling you that there is a one-size-fits-all type solution, but since everybody is different and there are different nuances in everybody's situation. In fact, you probably have that answer deep within yourself. It's just that nobody has ever get that out from you, or you may not have spent that energy and focus in really listening to what you know about your situation. So a good life coach would be able to ask questions and really ask really good questions to get that out of you, because they want you to be the ultimate owner of your truth and of the steps that it may require to get to the best life that you have. And so a good life coach should be able to stir that out of you and allow you to really have skin in the game and shine in a way that you know best. So it is not true that a life coach would just give you action items based on what they think is probably the best one. They'll probably have to ask you, what do you think your action steps would be? And at the end of the collaboration of your conversation, you should be able to comfortably come up with, the next steps and the move forward solutions yourself. So that is there's a difference. A life coach doesn't tell you exactly what to do all the time. So, okay, so the last misconception we're going to address is that life coaching is expensive. So to that, I would say if you just look at, the price tag, maybe that's the initial reaction, but I would steer you to think about how we spent money on vacations, in remodeling our kitchens and upgrading our cars. All that are really, really good investments. While for a fraction of the cost of those things, you can actually upgrade your mental health. You can upgrade your life. You can live out a more fulfilled version of yourself. And oftentimes, after I work with a client, I ask them, so what do you think about the process? How was it for you? It is a little pricey, but they always walk away with the sense that they wish they had, one, done it earlier, and two, that the best thing they have ever done in their life is this program. And so that just tells you how important it is to have someone be your sounding board, be your cheerleader, be your facilitator, to help you coax out the potential and your dreams within you, so that you just walk around lighter, happier, freer, be a truer version, more authentic version of yourself. And so to that, you can't really put a price tag on it per se. That feeling of being uplifted, of being inspired, of walking on air, that feeling of walking on air is priceless. So it's all relative, isn't it? I think it's really hard when you look at the price tag and go, ooh, it's a little high. But when you think about the benefits and the results and the value that you see and how much happier you are, you really can really justify and say, oh, maybe this is how much it costs. So life coaching is and can be a very beneficial process for everyone. I have never seen anybody who's walked away from a program and go, oh my gosh, I wish I hadn't done that. It's usually the opposite. It's usually they feel like they are a new person and they have a lot of newly added insights and wisdom in their life, and they're walking away much lighter and freer and just being more of themselves and just being happier. These are the things that I see with clients that I've worked with. So it is important to approach life coaching with an open mind and a willingness to explore new things, new ideas, new perspectives. And the relationship between the client and the coach is a highly collaborative one. So the success of the coaching oftentimes depends on the client's involvement, the homework they've done to look for someone that they can actually feel like is the right fit for them. And I think that is the key. So hopefully I've addressed some of the misconceptions out there. And if you have any questions, comments, feel free to let me know. Give me a like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.